Our next guest is a Grammy-nominated comedian and actor. He'll be appearing live at Radio City Music Hall September 23rd to the 25th as part of his fun tour. Please welcome back to the show our very good friend, Jim Gaffigan.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah,
you guys.
really nice.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Oh, don't milk it.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
They get tired
Wow,
if they have to keep clapping.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm not going to make you. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Wow.
Well, this will be, now Radio City won't be a big deal after you came out to this.
Well, you know, it's going to be weird going back to Radio City. Because, as you know, I was a Rockette for a while.
You were?
Yeah.
I don't think I did know that.
I was fired. You know, I was part of the Christmas Spectacular. I don't know if you brought your kids there. And I was fired. They caught me in a situation with one of the donkeys. Nothing was going on.
Okay, gotcha.
Nothing. I mean, the donkey was definitely flirting with me.
Right.
But
that's a fireable offense as a Rockette.
essentially, I got a donkey pregnant. But it's, you know, it's like, it's fine.
Wait, nothing happened?
My
but
wife doesn't know, so
Oh, okay.
don't bring it up to her.
She doesn't watch the show.
She'd freak out. She'd freak out.
You played Radio City, you played MSG as well. Those are kind of the big rooms in the city. It must be thrilling.
You know, I'm so excited. And, you know, when I did Madison Square Garden, because my kids are going to come and see me at Radio City. And I was like, well, you remember when I was at Madison Square Garden? And they were like, no. And it wasn't even that long ago. It's like kids remember nothing because they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care because the children are just God's punishment for having sex. I know that sounds
You guys
hard.
have had a lot of sex because you had a lot of kids.
5 times we've had sex.
You have 5 kids.
5 kids.
Last time we talked was April of 2020. How did you hold up? How did you make it through?
You know, the pandemic, I died in June, which was weird.
Okay.
We can cut that out. No,
You did look a little...
I mean, I look a little
you
pale.
You lost some cover, yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you know, this is going to sound pandering, but I feel as though the pandemic was hardest on mothers, definitely mothers, right? Or the men who had to live with those mothers. But it was insane for everyone. There was at one point, I turned to my wife, I guess it was after I finished the first case of scotch, and I turned to her and I said, when this is all over, I will take you wherever you want to go. Wherever you want to go. And my wife was like, I want to go to Hawaii. And I was like, well, I was thinking more tri-state area. You know what I mean?
Sure.
She was like, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to bring the kids. And I was like, whose kids? And she was like, our kids. And so I did research and it was cheaper than a divorce. So we went to Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
And what an amazing place, right? It's like no other state. It's a tropical paradise. It's almost like Hawaii was this Polynesian island nation that we just took over. You know what I mean? That like it wasn't even part of the United States. We just went in, kind of like it was, you know, like an open house. We just looked around like, oh, this is nice. We could have our wedding here. You know what I mean? And the Hawaiians were like, we're our own country, and we're like, you're coming with us. And if you've been there, you know that, you know, understandably, there are people that are angry.
Yes,
you know, occasionally
justifiably so, yes.
They'll come up to you and they'll say, you stole this land. And I'm like, I don't know how to break it to you, but we stole all the land. You know, it probably just stings a little more because this land's prettier, but there's even people in Detroit mad at us. You know?
I would imagine, I don't like the beach. I would imagine you don't.
No, I do not. I know I look like I just spent, because my wife loves the beach, and so I just spent the entire vacation just applying and reapplying sunscreen, which thankfully makes my skin whiter.
Right.
You know, I don't know what cruel bastard decided that the goo that protects pale people from the sun should also make them look like White Walkers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, I just didn't want to be I didn't want to get burned. You don't want to be the sunburn adult. Because, you know, we've all, you know, you see a kid with a sunburn, you're like, parenting's hard. But you see an adult that's sunburned, you're like, that's an alcoholic. Right? You need to avoid that person. Like, the sunburned adults always look a little lost, right? Because they're looking for the bar.
That's why they look lost. Did you do activities? What activities did you do when you were there?
You know, I don't know why all the vacation activities require a waiver. You know what I mean?
They
On
do now.
vacations, right?
I feel like that's a new thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like sign here, have fun. Hopefully you don't die, right?
Yeah.
And we did zip lining for the last time. That's just.
Did you not like it?
What is wrong with humans? It's like, oh, do you want to feel like you're about to die? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times? It's like, why don't you just, why don't you just go to a biker rally and take off your mask? You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you walk into traffic? I don't know. But sometimes when my family would go to the beach, I would go for a hike, which is boring. But I figured out how to make it fun. Whenever I go on a hike, I always bring a ketchup packet, and halfway through the hike, I open it up and I rub it on my hands and my face, and then I just approach romantic couples and ask, have you seen my wife? And they're like, no. And I'm like, but you heard her sassing off to me. I can still smell her sin.
That's a good
inappropriate.
transition to the fact that your show is called The Fun Tour.
It is fun.
It is fun.
We deserve fun.
We do deserve fun right now.
Right?
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like people are happy to get back out and do comedy, but I know a lot of people, justifiably so as well, wearing masks. What's it like to do a comedy to the masked?
Well, it's great to have another barrier from hearing laughter.
Yes.
Right? But no, I did the drive-in shows, which were horrible.
This is people like honking for laughs?
That's when you're trying to someone flashes their lights. You're essentially trying to make the person that is the most sober in the car laugh because they control things.
It's interesting. So I'm assuming you're trying new material and your feedback is like lights and horns. Could you process this is working, this isn't working?
Kind of. Sometimes people would tailgate, but it was just very weird.
Yeah.
But by the way, at Radio City, they have, everyone has to be vaxxed. So people don't,
Right.
if you're vaccinated, if you're under 12, you have to wear a mask. But so there is an energy, as we know. It's like people want to be entertained.
Yes.
Like people are sick of their families. And so
Very sick.
they need a break.
And yet I think they enjoy listening to someone like you tell jokes about how you're sick of your family.
Yes. I think we all need, some therapy.
That's
right?
a very universal thing that you are very good at sharing.
Okay.
It's always a delight to see you. Have great shows over there. Thank you
Thanks
so
so much for having me.
For more information on tour dates, go to jimgaffigan.com.